Have you ever wondered what true greatness looks like? We often picture it as sitting on a throne, a position of power, authority, and glory. It's the ultimate goal, right? The pinnacle of success. But what if I told you there's another symbol, equally powerful, but completely different in its meaning? A cup, specifically, the cup of the cross. Today, we're going to explore these two powerful images, the throne of the kingdom and the cup of the cross, and discover how they are profoundly connected in a way that might just change how you see everything. Let's start with the throne. Throughout history and across cultures, the throne has always represented the highest honor. It's a symbol of sovereignty, of being in charge, of having everything under your control. When we think of a king on his throne, we imagine majesty, wealth, and undeniable power. People bow, commands are followed, and the kingdom revolves around the one who sits there. In our own lives, we chase after our own versions of a throne. Maybe it's a promotion at work, financial success, social influence, or just being the one who gets to make the decisions in our family or community. We want to be recognized, respected, and have a sense of control over our destiny. This desire for a throne isn't inherently bad. It's a natural human aspiration for significance. We all want to feel that our lives matter, that we have a place of honor. In the Bible, the concept of a throne is central. King David, a man after God's own heart, sat on a throne. His son, Solomon, famous for his wisdom, also sat on a throne, presiding over a kingdom of unparalleled peace and prosperity. The throne of David becomes a powerful symbol throughout the scriptures, representing a promise of a future king, the Messiah, who would establish an eternal kingdom. This is the ultimate throne, the one that governs not just a nation, but the entire universe. It's a throne of perfect justice, righteousness, and unending glory. It's the throne we read about in the book of Revelation, where God rules and reigns forever. This is the kingdom we all long for, a place of perfect peace and order. So, the throne represents the ultimate destination, the final victory, the glorious end of the story. It's everything we hope for. Now, let's turn our attention to the other symbol, the cup. A cup, in its simplest form, is a vessel. It's meant to hold something. But in the scriptures, a cup often symbolizes one's destiny or appointed lot in life. It can hold blessings and joy, like when the psalmist says, "My cup overflows," but it can also hold suffering, judgment, and sorrow. This brings us to the most significant cup in history, the cup Jesus spoke of in the Garden of Gethsemane. On the night before his crucifixion, facing unimaginable agony, Jesus prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will." What was in this cup? It wasn't just physical pain. It was the weight of all the sin, all the brokenness, all the rebellion of humanity, past, present, and future. It was the full force of divine justice that we deserved. It was separation from the Father. This cup represented the absolute opposite of the throne. The throne is about glory, honor, and being lifted up. The cup was about shame, suffering, and being crushed. The throne is about receiving worship. The cup was about taking on punishment. Jesus, the one who rightfully deserved the eternal throne, was staring into a cup of immense suffering, and his human spirit recoiled from it. "If it is possible, let this cup pass from me." Who could blame him? None of us would willingly choose that cup. But then, he says the most powerful words ever spoken, "Yet not as I will, but as you will." In that moment, he chose the cup. He chose obedience. He chose love. He chose us. He willingly drank the cup of suffering so that we could be offered a cup of salvation. He emptied himself of glory so that we could be filled with grace. This is the heart of the gospel. The king stepped down from his place of honor to drink a cup of shame. So, how do these two symbols, the throne and the cup, connect? Here is the beautiful, mind-blowing truth. The path to the throne goes directly through the cup. Jesus couldn't bypass the cup to get to the throne. The cross was not a detour, it was the way. The Apostle Paul explains this perfectly in his letter to the Philippians. He writes that Jesus, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant. He humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. That's the cup. But the passage doesn't end there. It continues, "Therefore God exalted him to the highest place and gave him the name that is above every name, that at the name of Jesus every knee should bow, in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue acknowledge that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father." That's the throne. Do you see it? Because he drank the cup, God exalted him to the throne. The humility of the cross was the very thing that led to the glory of the resurrection and ascension. The way down was the way up. This principle is not just for Jesus, it's for us as well. Jesus himself made this connection clear to his disciples. James and John came to him and asked, "Let one of us sit at your right and the other at your left in your glory." They were asking for thrones. They wanted the positions of highest honor in his kingdom. What was Jesus' response? He didn't rebuke them for their ambition. Instead, he asked them a question: "Can you drink the cup I drink?" He immediately connected their desire for glory, the throne, with the necessity of suffering, the cup. He was telling them, and us, that in his kingdom, the way to greatness is through service. The way to be first is to be last. The path to the throne involves a willingness to pick up our own cup. What does this cup look like for us today? It's not the cup of God's wrath. Jesus drank that for us, once and for all. Our cup is the cup of self-denial, of putting others before ourselves. It's the cup of forgiveness when we've been wronged. It's the cup of serving humbly without seeking recognition. It's the cup of standing for truth even when it's unpopular. It's the cup of sacrificing our own comfort, time, and resources for the sake of others and for the gospel. It's choosing God's will over our own, even when it's hard, just as Jesus did in the garden. Every time we choose humility over pride, service over status, and love over selfishness, we are drinking from this cup. And here's the promise: if we are willing to share in his cup, we will also share in his glory. If we humble ourselves, he will lift us up. The journey might feel like we are moving further away from the throne, but in reality, we are walking the same path Jesus did. The path of the cup is the only path that leads to the true throne. Any other throne we try to build for ourselves, through our own strength, pride, or ambition, is temporary. It's built on sand, but the honor that comes from following the way of the cross is eternal. So, the next time you dream of greatness, the next time you feel that pull towards a throne in your life, remember the cup. Ask yourself, am I willing to serve? Am I willing to be humble? Am I willing to follow Jesus not just to the victor's crown, but also along the path of sacrifice? The world tells us to climb the ladder of success to reach the throne. Jesus shows us a different way. Descend in humility and service, drink the cup he gives you, and trust that he will exalt you to a place of true and lasting honor in his kingdom. The throne of the kingdom is an incredible promise, but it is a promise reached only by embracing the cup of the cross. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content that explores the deep truths of faith. Let me know in the comments what drinking the cup looks like in your life right now. I'd love to hear from you. This message is based on spiritual materials found at lsm.org. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.